Being here this evening brings back a lot of memories for me because though it was many years ago, I actually spent some time as a returning adult student when I was not only teaching high school and teaching adult education at night, but I was also doing my master's degree at night and during the summers. And so I was commuting actually from Wapakoneta, Ohio to Columbus, Ohio at night during the week when I wasn't teaching adult education to do my graduate degree. So I have my own set of experiences and memories as a returning adult student, and that's why I wanted to be here to welcome you this evening. I think that in addition to what Nikki said about my own background, I also have taught a number of different courses in different modes for adult students. And one of my favorite stories, what she reminded me of, was just the sort of discipline and perseverance and motivation and determination it takes to follow those non-traditional paths. I once taught a course from Indiana University into community centers around the state of Indiana. And I learned later that one of my students had to leave work and go to the public library before it closed in order to get the key to the public library, in order to then open it in the evening, in order to turn on the video conference equipment, and then in order to participate in the class and turn it off and lock the library and return the key so that she could take my course. I don't know if the course was worth all that, but it was a demonstration to me, a testimony of just how important these kinds of educational opportunities can be, and the way in which, if we can make it convenient for you and we can provide the kind of support that you need, it will help you overcome some of the barriers that you may encounter along the way. I also wanted to say a few words about Otterbein College, and why, along with Nikki, why I think this is a good place for you to land in terms of pursuing higher education opportunities. When I joined Otterbein College, it was back in December, or at least I accepted the position at that point, but it was a while before I started because I didn't start until July 1st. During that time, however, I did a number of meetings with alumni and with trustees and with prospective students and with students, and I learned that we actually had two of our most successful and I think impressive members of our Board of Trustees who actually earned their degrees from Otterbein through our Continuing Studies program. So it was, again, a strong testament, I think, to Otterbein's commitment to adult education and continuing studies to raise those people up as examples of what Otterbein can do for our students by having them serve as members of the Board of Trustees, and they're very dedicated and very strong advocates for our Continuing Studies program. But there are also some things in our core values that I think indicate our commitment to adult learners. And one of the favorite phrases that I encounter all the time about Otterbein is we think of Otterbein as a college of opportunity. That may mean one thing to a student who's 18 years old, but it means quite another to a student who's 35 or 40 or 45 or 50 or in their senior years. We believe in opportunity, and we believe that education opens that door of opportunity. And so that door is open, regardless of your age, regardless of your nationality, regardless of your ethnicity, regardless of your social class. We are a college of opportunity. We also talk about another core value, and that is we believe in lifelong learning. And again, we think about preparing our undergraduate traditional students, traditional age students, for preparing for lifelong learning so that they will not simply get their degree, get their diploma, walk off the stage and never open another book, but so that they have actually prepared themselves for a life of inquiry, a life of learning, a life of transition, a life of change, a life of growing. That lifelong learning is a commitment that we have to adult learners as well. Lifelong learning means you don't just learn when you're 18 to 22 years old. You can come back anytime. You can come back as often as you like. So our door will remain open. These core values are integral to the institution, which is organized around a strong commitment to a student-centered learning environment. And that is first and foremost in the minds of our full-time faculty as well as our part-time faculty. We are here to serve you, and we are here to help you achieve your educational goals. Otterbein recently completed a strategic plan to establish its priorities for the next 5 years. One of our major goals is to increase our programs and our outreach efforts working with adult students. So you are joining as a member of a community that is committed to student success, one that considers adult education, continuing studies, to be integral to its mission and central to its future planning. And you will be working with instructors, full-time and part-time, who are committed to helping adult students succeed. You also will benefit from our highly qualified and very dedicated continuing studies staff who have years of experience in supporting adult learners as you plan your program of study, and they will serve as a resource whenever you need assistance. So please take advantage of those resources because we do want you to succeed. I guess I should say I hadn't prepared comments for the part-time faculty, but Nikki sort of opened that door, so I should say a couple of words to them as well. And I guess this again takes me back to my own time teaching adult learners. And so this is sort of less thanking you than telling you you have the best job in the world, because you get to work with the most determined and the most motivated and the most dedicated students in the world. As an adult learner, you're balancing a lot of balls. You're throwing a lot of balls up in the air and trying to keep them from hitting the ground. And when adult learners enter a class, they enter it with serious intention. They expect to learn. They will ask you tough questions. They will ask to be pushed, and they will push everybody else in the classroom. And for a teacher, at heart, that's the very best of all learning environments, is have students who are motivated to learn, who are there because they want to be, and who are determined to allow you to push them to their limits. So I thank you for your service, but I also really do believe that you're teaching our very best students, our most motivated students. So I'm very happy to be here this evening, and am glad to greet all of you. And I will be spending time getting to know everybody in the coming months, both students and faculty.